The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The musical Anne Juliet is coming to Crown Theatre from the 30th of December to January 21st. Ticketmaster.com.au for tickets. But one of the stars playing Juliet's nurse Angelique is none other than Australian icon Casey Donovan, who's in the house. Casey, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm not wrong.
Now, Casey, I like things like Anne Juliet because they're taking a story that we know and they're doing a slight twist on it. Let everyone know what the twist is.
Well, the twist is Juliet decides to not unalive herself and start again.
There you go.
And we do that through the music of Max Martin and the story of David West Reed, and it is the most joyous, fun show. There is something for everyone, and, you know, we get to sing.
Agreed. So I
music.
saw your second last night in Melbourne.
Stop it.
And it is, I've never seen a show before. I've seen a lot of these sorts of shows. I've never seen one where every single person in the audience is up and dancing by the end of it.
It's a joy.
Yeah, and there's a Backstreet Boys number that brings the house down. That honestly, everybody's just, it is joy. It is joy. There's
You know
no
what?
doubt.
Imagine everyone dancing. I can just also imagine one miserable person sitting there going, I pay good money for these things.
Case, Max Martin, what songs has he written?
So, the songbook of Max Martin is next level. So we've got Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again, Effing Perfect. I'm just rattling off all the ones from the show. Celine Dion. There are so many bangers. Katy Perry, Ariana
How
Grande.
much money would he have if he wrote all those?
It's not the money, it's the songbook. You look in our program and it flicks to the back and it's like all of Max's songs that aren't in this show, and I think it's 2 pages worth of songs. So he's been writing for years and years and years.
It's amazing.
And just a genuine, kind human who is the absolute rock star. I think he got up at the opening night of Melbourne and he's like, yeah, let's just effing party. And it's like,
right.
Cool, all right,
Yeah.
to the theatre crowd. Great, all right.
And you know music. They say, you know, if you've got a really great just one song, you can basically do really well off the royalties of that if you wrote it.
Yeah.
Let alone writing all of the great songs.
Yeah.
I love
And
them
having
already.
amazing entertainers perform them night after night.
Yeah, can I talk about you
Sure.
when you first came on the scene? I was at your Australian Idol finale at the Opera House. So I was freshly out of Big Brother.
Right.
And we were invited there, and I was there with Gretel Colleen. That was next level. Like,
17.
The crowds outside of there, they stopped the whole thing down. Like, it was like rock star Beatles sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was next level. Nothing in my life has ever been the same from that moment.
And you
but,
were a child.
I was 16.
It was crazy.
I was in high school.
And I remember you had the chain going
Yeah,
from
the
your
chain,
nose, and I just thought, what has she done? That's everything. Because I was voting for you. I was voting for you over Anthony in a heartbeat. But it was amazing. But then, then you had that, you know, and then Casey Donovan was Casey Donovan.
Yeah.
And then you went quiet for a little bit and went off the grid, and then you came back. When you're off the grid, this is my question. When you are Casey Donovan and everyone sees you as Casey Donovan, but you're not being on stage Casey Donovan in real life, what's that like?
It's interesting. I still get it to this day. I get that look of, where do I know her from?
Yeah, right.
School? Has she, you know, where do I know this face? But when I went off the grid, I went and got a job. I started working medical reception because
But people then knew they were working with Casey Donovan.
Yeah, which was really interesting. But, you know, after a few minutes, you're like, oh, she's just as cracked as everyone else. She's fine. But, you know, it was interesting. You know, people are giving me their stool and urine samples going, yes.
Yeah.
Just literally giving this to Casey Donovan. Which was interesting and fun.
I just handed Casey Donovan a cup of piss.
Yeah, literally. But, you know, that's the thing. Life goes on, and I think when you're going through these reality shows, and especially in today's world, you know, we didn't have social media. We had forums.
We had
I don't
nothing.
even think kids know what a forum is, where people would literally go on a website and
Make
talk
a comment.
absolute crap about everyone in that show, which is kind of social media these days.
Yeah,
just
big
behind
time.
it. But, you know, I think it's about having a support network around you to go, hey, this is reality. Here's what's going to happen. You don't have all the bells and whistles. To be an amazing performer, you need to work at your craft and just have fun and don't fall into the way of, you know, all of these things have to be glitz and glamour. Like, the more authentic you are, the more people are going to respect you and love you and just support you, you know, minus the few people that write nasty things. But
So, Case, did you stop singing in through that period?
I stopped singing. I got dropped by the label. I was at a standstill, but I was also I think 18 at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
so I was
wow,
still
man.
going
Good time
through
to live your life.
Yeah. So I was still going through all the motions and, having to sit with myself and go, okay, you've won a major TV show, but now you're working medical reception. So I had to, just rearrange.
Reconcile that. Yeah.
Do you remember your winner's single?
Listen with your heart.
Do you sing that ever?
For many, many years, I took it out of my set.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? This song isn't about me. It's for people that had related to that song and that it meant something more to them than it did to me in that moment. So I put it back in the show and I just put my own spin on it and gave it a new...
Made it the way you wanted to sound?
Yeah, just gave it a new reason and a new love. So I didn't resent it.
That's a very healthy place to be, though. That's great.
It's taken many years to get there, but yeah.
We've got Casey Donovan, the star, one of the stars. You and Millsy really are the real big draw cards, both Australian Idol alumni. This is for Anne Juliet, which is headed our way. It kicks off December 30.
The one thing we know, Millsy's been doing a lot of stage shows for a long time. So
Yes.
you getting involved in stage shows more
been a few
recently,
now, yeah.
Case, a few.
Look, the last kind of 10-ish years, I've kind of just crept into them, which has been an amazing thing. It's. Let me put it this way.
Yep.
It's so lovely to not be Casey Donovan and be a character and get to work with so many amazing humans and getting to work with great casts and directors and creatives and just learn about musical theatre. I'm not trained in musical
Because it's
theatre.
different. And you've got to be in the right place is the other thing. When you're performing as yourself, you can just stand there, you can do whatever you want. Everybody else moves around you.
Yeah.
But they're relying on you to be in a certain place at a certain time.
And say a certain line, which I had a lot of stress over for many, many years. But, it's a team sport. And you go in there and you all warm up together. And, I love that in Anne Juliet, we stand around before the show. Well, once we finish our warm up and we all stand, we all take a deep breath in and we all kind of do this thing where we click together. No one knows when we're going to click. We take a breath and we feel each other's energy.
Can you do it with me?
Sure.
Right,
so
so
you you take a breath. So you go and you raise your hands. You go.
Yeah. And then
you. Obviously not in sync. But you know what? We'll work on it. Yeah, okay, ready?
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Nah,
like
you went
slow
to
jazz.
Yeah, that's really good, no?
So
That's
what
very
you're
Michael
saying
Jackson-y.
Yeah.
right there.
is that when you do it, you're all in sync just automatically because
Well,
the
not
energy's
always,
matched.
But
But
we
also,
all
what's
try
this
to...
backstage bullshit that I just did with you? Like, oh my God, actors, hey? Oh my God,
The
crazy.
thespians. Yes, the thespians.
Stagecraft.
But I love being a part of a community like musical theatre. It's somewhere for people to go and to be accepted and to be loved and to work on your craft, and I love that. And through Anne Juliet, we're bringing so many new people to the theatre, young kids that have never thought about coming to a theatre show. They're like, oh, I like Ariana Grande, I like Katy Perry, I like Britney, and they come and they learn about what the Backstreet Boys are.
Yes.
We're talking to a generation that are 20 years behind.
And also what Shakespeare is.
What is Shakespeare? And, it still
In
has
an
this-
understanding way.
in a
It's
very
quality help.
understanding way. The nurse never had a name until, David
right.
West Reed wrote that her name is now Angelique. And she gets her love story, and there's so many, every story relates to someone's life, whether you're in the LGBTQI plus community or you're, a mature person looking for love or wanting to reconnect. There is something for everyone, and you get to watch this beautiful show through comedy, wit, and Amy La Palmer and Rob Mills as Anne and Will are amazing. And, of course, the star of the show, Lorinda May Marypaw, who plays Juliet. She is such an amazing performer and singer, and the way that she can hold the crowd and just her energy is, it's next level. And I love walking out on stage and just knowing that it is so safe with her, and to watch, a young First Nations person standing there being proud and just entertaining and taking it all in her stride it makes me so proud. I feel like one of those aunts, which I guess I am now.
That's right.
You know what, though? When people are handing out cool names, she got a good one. What was her name again?
Lorinda May Marypaw.
No, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's
That's
like in a
amazing.
novel. Or
But when
something.
you come and watch the show, you will literally be mesmerised,
Yeah,
not
she's
only
so
by
good.
her, but also the entire cast.
Yeah.
it's just...
And she's a bit of a pocket rocket too, isn't she? And you think, how can that voice come out of that tiny little person?
Every day. And, you know, she puts 120% into each show. I walked past her mirror one day and it said 80% is 100. And I went back to myself and went, oh, yeah, I've got to remember that.
But 80% is 100.
So when you're doing 8 shows a week, you're literally an elite performer.
Yes.
And you're like in the Olympics because to redo a show, one show is never the same. So you're going in there, you have to also think about, we're doing 8 shows a week. We also have lives. Amy's a new mother with I think he's now 15 months or a year. You know, we all have lives outside. I do my podcast. I do all these other things. So
on the
by
Nova
the time
Network,
we get
everyone.
on the Nova Network, the space, if you want to, mindfulness, no bullshit. But we're all doing our lives and then we go in and perform every night to the best of our ability. So when you're watching Lorinda go on stage and sing all of these banger songs in all of the ranges of her vocals, it's a feat. And you know, it's just amazing to watch all of these young people coming through and to be there and all be there together and know that we're in this for the long haul.
But what does 80% to 100
So 80% to 100 means you can't do 100 every night.
Oh, so 80%
is 100.
Is 100, yes.
Yeah, because if you're doing 100 every night, you're doing 2 shows a week. So,
Because
we
she has
should
to
write
back
that
it
here.
up.
We should write this on the wall.
Instead of never flying a...
Yeah, as if we're going to reach...
Get her a text right on there.
Elite Sport, they're not doing it every day, Sean.
No, they're certainly not. But someone rolls that out and you'll be like, there, mate.
Imagine if you had to play footy 8 days a week.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Very similar, excellent.
Yeah, and you're doing 80 minutes a game, and we're doing, you know, it's that thing of, you know, and you've got to keep your voice healthy.
That's
you
right.
Can't, you know, go out and, you know, drink to your heart's content. There are certain rules and regulations you have to put on yourself. And, you know, my partner loves a chat. She is the chattiest chatter that I've ever met. And I'm like, babe, I can't talk for 2 hours.
Don't even.
At the start of the day, I'm not supposed to talk. I've got to get my straw. Like, I've got to steam.
And she's like, that's fine. I'm talking.
Yeah, so, you know. And
but it's like sometimes when we finish this show, the last thing you want to do is
We're
talk.
not talking.
And luckily, Nellie and I
go
go home to people to no one at our homes. Sean goes home to 400 children and his wife.
and my wife will tell all these guys a million times over how boring I am normally.
We get fun, Sean. It's like, it's not that much fun. Megan. You're not missing much.
Jesus.
And Juliet, it's a cracking show. Take it from me. You will love it. It's at Crown Theatre from the 30th of December through to January 21st. So it's a limited season.
It's very limited.
Snap your tickets up from ticketmaster.com.au. See Casey playing Angelique. Angelique is a bit of action too, by the way. Yes. And Millsy as William Shakespeare. Thank you so much for coming
Thanks
in,
for
Casey.
having
It's a
me.
pleasure.
Cheers.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
What's the big stain on your shirt?
I only saw it this morning and I
okay.
thought Nat's going to pull me up on that straight away.
You should have seen the stain yesterday. It was all
On
over
his
his
pants?
chest. It was just like a big splatter all over his
Sean.
chest. And I did, you know what? And I was polite enough not to bring it up.
I thought it might have been just water that I dribbled off my face, but it doesn't seem to be.
No, it's
So anyway,
drying now.
I'm going to have to get the White King out when I'm washing these days.
Do you know what? Can I just say something to you right
Never
now?
said.
Captain, my body is my temple. I'm the healthiest eater of the world.
Yeah.
All these stains that
lot of
come
fat
in.
stains.
A lot of them do. Yeah, a lot of them do look like they're from greasy
They're
burgers
oily.
and stuff like that.
A lot of oily
So why
stains.
is there a lot of oil dripping from your chin?
Because
I tell you, I'm
there's
honest
no
with
oil
you.
in celery.
No, that's true.
So what is it with that?
I'm honest with you about my eating, and I'm going to confess something. Last night I had a maxi bomb.
Oh, an ice cream. Did you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a
Did
slippery
you
slope.
go down to the survey to get it?
No, what happened is there was no dog food, so I went to
Okay.
Woolies.
Yes.
And then while I was over the dog food section, I just thought, I'm getting a maxi bomb.
Hey, Sean, can I admit something to you?
Yes.
While we're
This is
bearing,
great. This is
while
great.
we're bearing our souls. The other day I went to Chicken Treat, right?
Yeah.
That we need the drum roll soon. The other day I went to
too
Chicken
early.
Treat and I was getting myself chicken roll combo, regular gravy, you know.
Ah,
yeah.
fantastic.
And I decided to buy something while I was there. I bought a vignetta.
A Viennetta.
Viennetta, that thing.
Vignetta.
Viennetta?
Viennetta.
Viennetta. I bought a
Viennetta.
Viennetta.
Why, was it your birthday or something? What are we celebrating? You
They
can
had them there for $6.50 for an
What, a
entire
whole
log.
Viennetta?
What?
For an entire log.
What are they normally worth?
I don't know.
Harry,
at
can
all.
you just check out what a Viennetta's
I don't know
worth?
at all, but in my mind as a child,
Yeah,
they were
okay,
thousands
yeah.
of
No,
dollars.
No, because
Yeah,
they
no, I
were
agree.
like the fanciest
They
of
were,
desserts
Natalie.
for
A
celebration
rippled block.
only.
Yes, so I got home and
We
like,
never
I
had them.
No, so I didn't have it that night, and then the next night I remembered, oh my God, I bought a Viennetta. So I ended up like carving myself off a slice. Can I tell you? They're not as good as I remember.
Okay, so Woolies are...
$6.
Isn't that amazing to know that is how much they cost?
In a world where everything's gone up by 2,000%, they've come down by 2,000%.
So what were they when we were kids?
No, they were way high.
cheap were
Why
they?
would we never have them if they were like this cheap all the time?
Why did our parents make us believe that they were made of diamonds?
Isn't that amazing?
No, I agree.
Anyway.
Hey, Nat,
Yes.
you haven't confessed anything.
Oh, no, it's
Nathan and
'cause
I have come clean about a few things.
I'm perfect in every way.
Oh, Natalie.
Also, I don't eat anything, so what am I going to talk about?
She's not wearing underwear. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, no, I haven't worn underwear for years.
I could never not wear underwear. Anyway.
Amy, shop.
Amy, what?
No.
Are you Nicholas
wearing,
right now?
Are you wearing knickers?
Is that when you wear your long skirts?
I used to work with a girl, kid you not, never, even with jeans on, never wore underwear.
Can I ask a question as a lady? Don't you feel the jean seams rub against your mini ha-ha?
Well,
Yes.
Well, then, would that be uncomfortable? The constant rubbing? Or is that a nice thing?
Tantalising?
Is that a nice thing or a bad thing?
Well, to me, a bad thing, Nat.
with the denim?
Yes.
I just think it's,
Yes.
I don't know, unhygienic.
Yeah, I just think vagina, cloth, and outside world,
Yes.
there needs to be another layer.
Well, it's the same for men. Like,
Exactly. Penis, cloth, outside
Correct.
world. No, there needs to be another barrier.
that's right. Sean's just looking down. You're not wearing shops again,
No,
are
I
you?
am. I told Nat this the other day because we went over to Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah.
I know this is going for a while, but we went over to Ronald McDonald House and you got with Joel here and our
So
team
work
here.
bought him a voucher.
A voucher when I did 15.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was for
You don't have to
a
name
massage.
the individual people.
Oh, anyway, it's for a massage. So I booked it in and I wore these shorts that had built-in jocks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's it. Oh, because
That's
you don't wear your build. Yeah, okay.
So they had built-in jocks, which
But
meant
they're
that he was
wholly-
going for a massage. So he would be taking the shorts off.
So
And so-
I had to go to Target here because I was over this. Anyway, I had
To
to go
buy jocks.
Target do massages.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It was the biggest crush of the year. That's right. That's the sound of Optus. That was the sound of Optus yesterday. And oh my God, listen to them. We're flipping. Sean, I got home. You know, I was worried.
I was
My
worried for
internet's
you.
with Optus.
So his internet was Optus.
so
We were
that
thinking
would mean no Netflix, nothing, Nathan.
So what was he going to do?
What were you going to do?
There you go.
Just scream into the void.
On the balcony.
So when did it come back on? When did it start working for you?
Okay. Around lunchtime, it was fine. I was fretting. I was
Biting your fingernails?
Oh, it was a lot, Sean. I was like, had to turn my phone into a personal hotspot because it's a different carrier. It was a lot.
Oh, it's a lot. My favourite story about it was the woman in Sydney who found out about it because her cat woke her up because the cat automatic feeder that feeds the cat in the morning is linked to Wi-Fi and
kidding?
wasn't working. So the cat's gone, what the hell? And went in and woke her up. And she's like, why isn't it working? And it's because Optus had failed.
Yeah, there's a lot
Imagine
of
finding out from your cat
Oh, my
that your
God.
carrier's down.
A lot of stories were out yesterday. I think in Sydney, a reporter walked around and was speaking to, aimlessly walking around zombies that didn't, obviously, that you could tell that their phone wasn't working. And one chick says, the biggest downfall from this is I just got a new puppy and I check puppy cam all the time.
Yeah.
She can't look at her puppy. But there are some other stories that came out from the crash yesterday, and they've got to do with some medical situations. This is insane. A woman named Rachel, she left her mum Joy at a local Northern Beaches hospital, right? And she lived 10 minutes away from the hospital. And she said to the hospital, if anything happens with mum, if anything changes, give me a call. I'll be in the car. I'll be down here straight away. They said, no worries. Of course, something bad did happen. The mum took a turn. The hospital couldn't get in contact with her because she was an Optus client. She missed her mum's final moments.
Oh,
That's hard.
Nathan.
That's so bad. Then there was some other things. So one carer explained that he was unable to call an ambulance for his patient who was suffering from a heart attack. He said that he had to go out onto the street and borrow a phone from someone walking his dog. Then another guy was talking about his wife. He said his wife went into a full-blown panic when she realised her phone wasn't working because his wife is a specialist doctor who supervises kidney transplants.
Oh, crikey.
The panic set in when she realised her phone was out of service and she was unreachable.
You know the answer. You know the answer, right?
What?
We all need to get landlines again.
Landlines.
Landlines on the outside. With a landline,
yes.
this doesn't happen. You can call the ambulance. The hospital can get a hold of you because you've got a landline.
The amount of people that were lining up at Vodafone and Telstra stores yesterday as well, going to buy Vodafone prepaid just to buy them over, or Telstra prepaid. It actually caused disruptions in the Telstra prepaid services, so anyone that had one of them couldn't recharge themselves because too many new customers are trying to recharge.
Yeah. So they were saying it was to do with the systems update that normally takes.
Don't you hate that?
But with my iPad, that tells me it's going to do it overnight.
Yeah, that's right. And you wake up in the morning and it's done.
And it's done. Like, I don't get what happened here. You know what I mean?
I know. It just goes to show how much we critically depend on mobile coverage.
We cannot be a cashless society.
Yeah.
How will that happen? Because if you go to a business, right, and you're a cashless society, and I'm going to pay with my phone, right, which has got my card on there,
yes,
and you require your technology to take my payment. Say Optus is down yesterday. I'm with Optus. You're with Optus. I can't buy what you're selling, and you can't.
You can't sell
me what I want. So literally the world of transactions are null and void and stopped right there and then.
I mean, that's fine in a shop where you select what you want and then you pay for it. But what about if you're at a servo and you've filled up already and then you go in to pay and you're like, oh, it's not working. Oh, well, you can't take the petrol back out of my car, so now what happens?
Oh, they give you the tube and you siphon it out. You put it back into the ground.
I'll just drive off.
Businesses especially all around Australia, and they're talking about compensation, and I think that is completely 100% justified because so many businesses would have missed out yesterday.
Yeah,
we want to know about the crash.
The great crash.
The great crash. We want to know how it affected you yesterday. Whether it be really full on or just something that others may say was petty, but it was important to you.
That is quite the crash.
It was a crash. Unprecedented, they said. The CEO said it wasn't 100 times. It's not unprecedented, you get what I'm saying? It's like, well, they're saying it is. My favourite thing when we were talking about the Optus crash in the morning yesterday, Sean goes, no one's with Optus. And the three out of the 4 people in that room were with Optus.
I was always thinking that, because I guess a cheaper option a lot of the times that people have gone through along the journey. When I used to go with Vodafone, and then every time that you were them, they used to crash, and then people shop around. So I just went, the only place to go.
It wasn't just Optus, it was all those other little businesses that Optus has, like the Dodo
network.
And all that sort of stuff. All of them were down as well yesterday. Connie's in Bedford. Hi, Connie.
Hi.
Hey, Connie.
Connie, are you an Optus crash victim?
I certainly am. I just thought it was my dodgy phone. I was trying to ring the husband in the morning to say, hey, listen, mate, I want to book the carpet cleaner so you can't be sitting on the lounge after work.
Yes.
And I got out of the car, and one of my girls that works with me says, oh, I can't even get my messages up from Optus. And I said, well, my phone's been crap too. She said, Connie, it's out nationwide. So we run a hairdressing salon with 8 staff on the floor, and I just had this thinking dread going, oh my God, they can't contact me on Facebook, they can't ring the salon phone, I'm not going to get paid today. Who's going to turn up for their appointments? And I couldn't even warn my staff to coming in the door to go, hey, listen, we're ready for the shit show. Get prepared.
Yeah.
And, the whole day it was like explaining to the clients, because some clients didn't know, saying, oh, well, we'll just pay you tap and go. And I'm like, my FPOS is down.
Yeah.
My phone is down. I've got no music. It was just a nightmare.
No music is the word.
How did you negotiate the payment thing, Connie?
Well, the thing is, like most of your clients, the ones that you know, you didn't mind, you said, hey, listen, can we take your details? When we get the machine up, we'll put them through. There was a few people we didn't know, and we're like, oh, are you happy to give us card details? Are you happy to go get cash? But people tried to get us cash, and the banks were down where they went to get, money, so we couldn't even get cash money either because the systems are down.
Wow.
Oh, that's horrible.
So you can trust your repeat customers, but,
Freshies, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know.
Jeez.
I mean, how many times
you can threaten to give them a bad haircut if they don't pay, but they have to come back for that, don't they?
Thanks, Connie.
Thanks, Connie.
Hi, Ange.
Hey, how you going?
Good, Ange.
Oh, who was impacted, Ange?
One of my good friends, she actually has had a bit of bad luck lately. So a few days ago, she booked flights to go over east because her granddad wasn't doing so well.
Yeah.
And she was in the middle of booking them, and that was all good. But then she realised she booked the wrong flight, so she quickly jumped on and was trying to call people. While the Optus network had crashed, she didn't realise this, and she couldn't change her flights. So currently she is on a separate flight to her partner, and her kids are on separate flights.
Yeah.
And she was in the middle of trying to call people, and she is still, at the moment, trying to get it sorted out.
Can I tell you right now?
Nightmare.
It is a nightmare, but I guarantee she's enjoying this flight a lot more than she would have been with the family.
That's so true.
So to be honest, that's actually a really great story from the Optus crash.
We'll call that a win. Thanks, Ange. Tanisha is in Mundaring. Hi, Tanisha.
Hi.
Hey,
Okay.
Tanisha.
How did you cope yesterday, Tanisha?
Not very well. I actually went down to the Optus store and they explained what was going on. So I went across to Vodafone and I actually switched all my services, all the numbers for the family and the Wi-Fi over to Vodafone.
Straight
So
away.
many people did that. Many people did that yesterday. And it's because of the trust is quite low with the company because of the data breach in 2022, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah, it was, Nathan.
Yeah.
So they're going to lose a lot of customers out of it. But, you just decided, no, that's enough. I'll just move on.
Yeah, I'll just move on. I needed my phone for work and the kids obviously needed their phones for school.
Yeah.
So I just had enough. I said, nah. And it was a better plan too, so...
When you changed it over, how long did it take and then you're back up and running, Tanisha?
For Optus or Vodafone?
Vodafone changing to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so when you go from Optus and then change to Vodafone, is it instantaneous or is it a couple of hours lapse in between?
No, it was instantly. They gave me a new number and then when Optus was up and running, I had to get the code to switch. But yeah, phones were up and running and got a message from Optus saying everything was all good. And I said, oh, sorry, I've
And
changed.
you're like, too late.
I'm out of here.
Bye-bye.
Too late.
Tanisha, what do you do for a gig that affected you?
I work at a medical centre.
Well, that's important.
You know what? But it is important. And the other thing, what was it? Was one of the premiers said that they're considering pulling all of the all of their accounts because all of their stuff's with Optus.
The government accounts are with Optus.
Yeah, and they said they can't trust it.
All right, well, thanks, everybody.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.